Hi everyone, and welcome to the program tonight. Once again, I'm here to introduce Mary Nkrumah, and my name is Emily Matthew. I'm the food literacy specialist at Halifax Public Libraries, and Mary is the owner of Mary's African Cuisine. So we're actually here in her restaurant tonight at 1701 Barrington Street, and she's already started cooking up a storm. And tonight she's going to be making African yam and Cocoyam leaf stew. So if you want to come get a sample tonight, around what time would you say? Maybe 8:30?
Yeah,
8:30 to 9 o'clock. We can give you a little sample, or you could drop by tomorrow. If you have any questions for Mary, just type them in the chat. And at the end of the program, I'll make sure to ask Mary. She'll answer any questions that you have during the cooking process. But other than that, welcome, Mary.
Thank you, Emily, and thank you, Halifax Public Library, for having us. Today we are going to prepare cocoyam stew and boiled yam. But apart from that, you can have it with plantain, edos, which some people call it dashin. You can also have it with cassava, boiled cassava. Okay, so we have here that with our stew, we are going to use kontomere. Kontomere is a leaf that we use in Ghana most of the time in our green leafier vegetable stews. And here we don't have it, so I get it dry. So I soak it a little bit. It's here, so it doesn't look fresh as you get it fresh anyway. So we have here the kontomere. We have tomatoes. We have mushrooms. We have salted codfish. We have here tuna. We also have spinach. It's nice, wash and fresh. We have yam here. Today, the meal we are going to prepare, I am going to try to get like 3 meals out of all of this ingredient I have shown. And I will explain it to you whilst I am adding them up. We have here onions. I said earlier on that we use more purple onion in our cooking. One of the stews that I'm going to make, which we call it abom, meaning dip. That one I'm going to use shallots to make it. We also have here roasted peanuts, groundnuts. You can also use peanut butter to do it instead of this, but mostly we use this. Here I have peppers, habanero peppers. I have some of the shallots in there grind. I also have in a little bit of ginger. This type of food, normally when you are making, you don't over season or spice it. You just want to taste everything in it. So not too much of spices and stuff. And I always also said I cook and I don't use Maggi. So what we are going to do, we are not going to use Maggi in any of that. We also have here our red oil, and we are going to start. So we turn on our stove, add in our red oil. The red oil, I have explained it so many times. It's back home we treat it like olive oil, so you don't want it to burn too much. So I have some in there. You can use any type of oil you want. Coconut oil is good. Peanut oil is good. Any kind of oil that you want, it's good. So whilst we are waiting for our oil to get a little bit hot, we are going to chop some shallots. And add And I'm going to add also some of the purple onions to it. We also have here salted fish. You can do it without the salted fish, but traditionally when we are doing it, we add salted fish to it. And it's mackerel. I think I used some in my last cooking. Um, it's salted and it's really soft. So when we add it to it, it gets dissolved in the oil or the stew. We have that one here. And this type of meal is one of the quickest meals that we have in Ghana. It doesn't take too long to cook. Normally, when we are cooking it, your yam or your plantain that you eat with, you put the leaves, your peppers, everything on it, and then cook them together. And then when it's ready, you just take it and then grind it and have it with your yam. But this very one I am making this one a little bit fancier. So you can also eat it with boiled yam. You can eat it with your banku if you want. You can eat it with your inchima if you want. I'm adding my salted fish to it. If you don't have that kind of salted fish, you can use cod, salted cod, and it's also really good. That is what I was using when I came here, and I couldn't get the salted fish that I want. We also normally add salted tilapia, and it's really good. We also sometimes you add it to it. We are going to add our onions and ginger. It doesn't have garlic in it, just onion, ginger, and pepper. The pepper, you can use any kind of pepper you are comfortable with. It's okay. You can also make it without pepper if you don't like pepper. Okay. I'm going to add some dicey tomatoes to it. I have a lot of it cut here because with all of these ingredients, I'll try my best to get 3 different stews out of it. So that's why I have a lot of tomatoes here. And when I was growing up, these are one of the stews that my mom will prepare so quick. Even here myself, if I don't find what to eat, this is the quickest way for me to do this so fast. And then I just sit and then relax and enjoy it. So I have salted cod. It's really salty. So I soak it, I pour the water out, I add another one for like a whole day. So it's not salty. It's not that much salty, but at least you can taste the salt a little bit in it. So what I do is after I take out some of the salt, I just like shallow fry it so it hardens a little bit, because I want to have it a little bit chunky in the sauce. So I'm going to add some to this one. We will use the rest for the other sauce. Now we are going to add our tuna to it, just a canned tuna. Most of the time, if I am making it at home, I always have smoked mackerel, which I do myself. So I always have some there and I use it. But if I don't have it, I just open a can of tuna and it's good to go. So this is tuna. And you don't have to add too much if you don't want to. I'm going to add a little bit of water. And if you are vegan, for what I am doing that I have added fish to it, you can use mushrooms instead. Okay. And even if you add a fish and you still want mushroom in it, you can add it to it. So now we are going to add our kontomere, which is the cocoyam leaves. And the cocoyam leaves, they are very big, like broad, really big. It's like dasheen leaves. And the roots vegetable we have from that, we call it cocoyam. It looks like edos, but the texture is different. The cocoyam tends to be more starchier, even more starchier than yam a bit, more starchier than African yams a bit, but the color is the same as cocoyam. And we use the leaves to make. We use the leaf in making stew, and it's what we call kontomere. But since we don't have it here fresh, we have the dry one, so I'm going to use it. It's nice wash, so I'm just going to add it to it. And if it's fresh, it will look more greener than this. I'm going to add a little bit more water to cook the leaves down, okay? And also with these leaves, if you don't cook it properly, it's itchy. So like I said with the yam, when the liquid touches your skin, it's really itchy. It's the same as this leaf. If we get it fresh and the liquid in it touches your skin, it's really itchy. So you have to be very careful with it when you are handling it. I'm going to let it cook down a bit, and then I will add salt to it because of the cod fish and the salted fish I added. So I want to let it cook a bit before I play with the salt. Okay, so I'm going to do the next one, which is also kontomere. But I couldn't, like I said, I couldn't get the fresh one. So that one, I'm going to use the spinach. That's the other way of us also using kontomere in making the sauce. And with the kontomere, you can, like the egusi stew I make, or akatwa or agushi. When you make it, you can also add the kontomere. That is what kontomere leaves, or the cocoyam leaves. That is what we added to it back home. So we are going to make the other one. That one is fairly simple. So that one too, we are going to have our pot on there. We add water to it, and then we put in our spinach. And that the other one too, we are going to use red oil. So I am going to start that one too. Like I said, you can use any type of oil you want. it's fine. So we are dicing up some shallots. I have some boiled pepper here. I am not making it too spicy because this one is spicy. We are going to add in our spinach. Add some onions to this. It's the same process as when we started this one, but this one, after we finish, we are not going to boil it again. We just serve it right away. We add some tomatoes to it. And this one, sometimes when I am making it, I add a little bit of green peas to it just to add texture to it and the taste. I like it. So sometimes I add some. This one too, I am added the salted fish to it. Okay. Now that we are waiting for it to get ready, I will use this one too. I just want to get rid of the board from there. So I will chop this one and then take it out. And then we start. Okay, so now I'm going to grind this. If you have food processor, you can just put everything into it. Ooh, the shallots. So I still have a little bit chunky of the onions in it. It's fine. That is how I like it. I still have to have a bite of my onions, so it's good. So now I am going to add the spinach I just boiled or steamed. And add the tomatoes and the onions and the salted fish I cooked together. And I still have some remains here. I will put it on after I finish everything. The stock from the the spinach, I am adding it to it so nothing goes waste. And I'm going to use mushrooms in that, so I'm going to cook my mushroom in there. Good. I think because of the salted fish, I am not adding any salt to it, and it's good. Let me add a little bit salt to the mushrooms. So we grind it together. And this type of bowl is very useful. We do so many stuff with it. You can eat from it, you can cook in it, you can grind your stuff in it, so it's very useful. You just make sure all is blending together. So after this, I will play with my salt, and then it's ready. This is my favorite among all. And if you are vegan, because I use salted fish in the tomato sauce I made, so if you are vegan, you can do that, but you can add peanuts to it instead of the salted fish, and add your mushroom if you want. So when I finish this, we will do the one with no meat, just with peanuts, but that one we will use eggplant. Okay. So our kontomere, the cocoyam leaf stew is ready. Right now we are going to work on our yam, so that we can serve it with this. I am waiting for this to boil down a bit, the liquid to come down a bit, and then I will pour over it. But meanwhile, I'm going to turn up that my grill just to sit it on so it doesn't get cold. Okay. That's the yam, African yams. And also, with the African yams, you can cook it with the skin on, just like the way sometimes we cook potatoes with the skin on. You can give it a good wash, and then you just slice it like this or cut it the way you want, and then just cook it. And then when you are eating it, you just peel the skin off. Potato skin are really lighter, so like you can eat it if you want. But with this one, it's really hard, so you peel it off whilst you are eating it. I want it to cook faster, so I'm just cutting them smaller. We give it a good wash. We add salt to our yam, but if you don't want salt in it, you don't add it. Just a little bit. I think the water it's small, so I add more. We're done with this. I am playing with the salt from here to see. No salt. And I added a little bit to the mushrooms. So okay, not much on here, so I will add a little bit to that. So I'm going to add the stock to it, mix it together. And then we will add our stockfish. It's already fried, so salted cod. So that is if you are fish person, but if you are not, you can do this without the fish. You just use mushrooms, or you add in ground nut to it, either peanut butter or roasted peanuts. You just add it to it. So this is done, and with this you can add a lot of red oil to it if you want. You can also do it without the red oil. It's all good. So now we are going to do our eggplant one. Because that is bonus, I prep ahead of time. And what I use is the aubergine. Is it like purple, black eggplant. I peel the skin off because I don't want it to look dark. So I peel the skin off, but you can do it with the skin if you want. Back home, we use, the eggplant we use is really tiny, and it's white. And sometimes when it gets ripe sometimes, but it's up to you even to use with the skin or take the skin off. So I'm going to start. This one has no meat in it. It's also one of my favorites. So I'm going to show you how I do it. I have here my shallots, just the same process as that one. Same shallots. I have, what is it? I have pepper here. That one too, I'm not making it spicy because after I will let you guys try it with something else too. That I am the only one that does that thing, so I will show you. So I'm not going to make it spicy. And this is really good for dipping. Like sometimes I eat plantains and stuff with it, but I sometimes dip in my plantain chips or any kind of chips that need a sauce to dip in. I normally do this, and it's really good. Use this. So I'm going to grind it together, and my roasted peanuts. But you can use peanut butter. I think it will make it easier, but I like this one, so I have to struggle for this. And with this, you can also use, we add tomatoes to it, but I am not going to add tomatoes. We use red oil as well, but I am not. But after I finish everything, the look and the taste is just like I have used tomatoes. What I did was, It's the same process I went through for this, but instead I use, how do you call it, paprika to do it. And I cook it in the oil for a long time, so it changes the color a bit and it becomes like red oil, okay? So I'm going to add it to it. No, I'll add my eggplant first. And when you are making this, you can choose to add a little bit ginger to it if you want, garlic to it if you want, but I just want it, I don't want too much ingredients in it, just simple, and it tastes really good. So I'm going to mix in the mixture I made. So I have a lot of shallots in there. Just mixing it together. I'm going to play with my salt. Need salt. So our cocoyam is ready. Yam is ready. I like the yam when you cook it and leave it to sit, it becomes hard because of the starch in it. It becomes hard. So I like leaving mine in the water a bit so it makes it moist. It doesn't get harder. And I know a lot of Ghanaians don't do it that way, but that is how I like mine. So it's soft and welcoming in eating. You don't have to do this, but this I am pretending I have red oil on it. It's nice and hot. And normally we serve it like that with avocado on the side. Avocados here don't treat me well. And then we also add boiled egg to it. So that is our ampesi and our ampesi, cocoyam leaf, and boiled yam. Here we have eggplant. It's vegan. If you want it vegetarian, you add your egg to it. You are good to go. This one has meat in it, but the same process I do with this. If you don't want meat in it, you can add like maybe beans to it, chickpeas, whatever you want. That will help you get your protein. You add it to it, and then we eat it with the yam. And like I said, you can eat it with cassava, plantain. This one, you can, this particular one, you can have your eba with it, your fufu with it, whatever. You can have it with it. And you can also make it with this type. You can also make it with any choice of meat you want, but I like fish. And normally back home, we do use a lot of fish for this kind of stew. That's the kontomere stew. Unless you want to make it too much fancy or whatever, and you add your beef and the rest into it. So I have extra a bit time, so I want to also do something that when I came here, it's like back home, I see it in books, pictures, and talk about it in class and stuff, but I don't know what it is. I never had a feel of it, but the picture I see, and we don't have it also back home. So when I moved here, there are certain vegetables I don't used to see back home then. It's only books. I see them in books, but when I came here, I see a lot of them. Like I feel it, I touch it, so I want to try it. Some I do try it and I don't like it. And then some also I try it in my own way and I really like it. And one of those vegetables are Brussels sprouts. So I'm going to show you how I cook mine. And I have it breakfast. I can have it with lunch, and I use egg in preparing it. So I have a little bit of time. I want to show you how I do it. My space is too small. So I have here shallots. Don't look at my knife skills. Come on, be quick. And then I have my Brussels sprouts here. I have tomatoes here. I'm going to add it to it. And then I have some eggs. I have some eggs. I will add it to it. It's so simple. You can cut them the way you want. And I keep it very simple. No too much spices. I only add grain of paradise. And grain of paradise is one of the stuff that in the olden days we use it as pepper. So it's kind of hot a bit. So it's like black pepper. So that is only thing that I will add to it, and then I add my egg and I add my So I have here my eggs. You can use, I'm just using 3 eggs. Normally, if I do, I don't eat it all by myself. My husband joins me. So 2 eggs. I add in my Brussels sprout. And then I add in my eggs. With my eggs, I'll add a little bit salt to it. So it's all done. I'm going to taste the salt. So if I make it like that, I can eat it with a yam. I can eat it with rice. I can eat it with anything I want. But normally, my husband and I like eating it with a boiled yam or on bread. And it's really good. So this is all what we have for you today.
One question, Mary. Someone was asking where to get the cocoyam leaves.
The cocoyam leaves. It's really hard to find here. That is why I brought spinach in the scene, because even myself, I use the spinach a lot because it's hard to come by. This one, I was able to get this because a friend of mine just came back from Ghana. And for some reason, he said, "Oh, Mary, I saw they have this in package now, so I brought 2. I'll bring you 1 to try." So last night, I have to drive to her house, and she actually gave all the 2 to me. I told her about it, the program, and then she gave all the 2 to me. But as to get it here, I haven't seen it in the stores yet, but I believe it's something that if you ask the African grocery stores here, Kalisimbi, Flanger, in Bujumaya, if you ask them, if they have, they will let you know, or if it's something they can bring it in. But this is a product from Ghana. Yeah. So it's a friend who brought me this. But apart from that, I think some years back I went to the States and I bought cocoyam, the roots like this, and I brought it, and for some I did plant it myself, and I got quite few, but time factor, I wasn't paying attention to it, so it's all died. So check it out from the Kalisimbi store, like all the African grocery stores you can find in Halifax. Check it out from there, and maybe they will carry it. But for now, this one, it was brought to me from Ghana straight.
Someone is asking, can you use kale instead of spinach?
Yes, you can use kale instead of spinach in making this, because it turns out kale is a little bit harder than this. The cocoyam leaves, when it's fresh and you cook it, it's soft like spinach. So if you are making this, I think the spinach is okay, or Swiss chard, it's okay. What's the vegetable again? Yeah, I think that one too, it's okay. But if you are doing the one I cook with the meat, the cocoyam leaf stew, you can use kale. Kale is also one of the vegetables that when I came, like it made me adjust into the system right away because I was using it to do a lot of stuff that I couldn't get the cocoyam leaves to do. So kale is also good. But if you are grinding it like this, that one I think it's a little bit hard, so you won't get it smooth like that. But to chop it up and use it for this, you can. Yes.
Well, this looks amazing, Mary. I think you ran out of room on your table.
I know,
so
right?
You can't make anything else. So I guess we'll conclude this last session of Cooking with Mary, Mary's African Cuisine. Remember, she's at 1701 Barrington Street, and we're going to be giving some delicious samples tonight. So we can start now, actually. So we're done around 7:30 until 8, and we can dip the plantain chips, I'm guessing, in the dip.
That is one thing that I said I do, but I want to introduce it to people, and it's really good. Sometimes if I just feel like or like a party and I want to do something different, I just do this type of sauce, or I use the spinach and I don't add any meat to it, and then
That looks amazing.
yeah, it's really good.
Well, I can't wait to try. We hope you drop by too. Or if you can't make it tonight, you can come tomorrow and let Mary know that you saw the program and you want to try some of these delicious dishes. So thank you so much, Mary,
You're
for these
welcome.
3 wonderful programs. We hope to have you again next year, and I can't wait to dig in. So
Thank you,
have a
Emily.
good night, everyone.
And thank you, Halifax Library. Thank you. Oh, dear. All done?